Hello, and thank you for joining me for the Energy Leadership Workshop. My name is Laquita Joseph, and I'm a certified life coach. Here you'll find a quick bio about me. Again, I'm an Energy Leadership Certified Professional Life Coach with training from the Institute for Professional Excellence in Coaching, also known as IPEC. Just a little bit about myself. I have worked in corporate America for over 19 years, nearly 20 years now, and have had lots of experiences in various roles in business and in IT. But today why I'm here is because of the life coaching that I do that I've found to be so rewarding. It's so amazing to help others find their path, to find their way, that helping them to define and identify the things that they want the most out of their life, and then seeing them make decisions and make goals and plans that actually get them to the place where they really, really want to be. So that is why I'm here today to talk to you a little bit about what energy leadership is all about. So before I jump into that, I have a few photos here that I just want to share. You'll see me and my husband. We've been married for over 21 years, and just some fun in the fun and celebrations. These are things that are important to me, is spending time and sharing time with him as well as our boys and the rest of our family. That is just totally important to me. And here you'll see some pictures of us with our sons. We have three, Justin, Andre, and Dijon. So yes, so I'm very proud, as you can see. So enough about me, and let's just get into it, and let's talk about energy leadership. I do want to start by giving kudos over to Bruce D. Snyder of the Institute for Professional Excellence in Coaching. He is the founder of this energy leadership process, I'll call it. And so you'll see that he has done some amazing work in this area, and this is one of the key reasons why I chose IPEC as my for my training as a life coach, because of the energy leadership. And it really gets to the core of what happens in a person's life, in their thought process, in their feelings, and how they go through that particular process. It's all about dealing with the core person, you know, not just the things that are on the surface, but the things that are going on the inside. So today we will cover, first of all, what is energy leadership, and we'll talk about that. We'll talk about different types of energy, catabolic energy and anabolic energy. And then we'll wrap up with the 7 levels of energy. So we'll go through and I'll define for you what energy looks like at each one of those levels. So what is energy leadership? Okay, energy leadership refers to both a particular and a unique form of leadership, and also literally to the process of leading energy so that it works for you rather than against you. It's an attitudinal mindset and a worldview that you can change. So that is what energy leadership. So basically, it is how you lead your life. It's the energy that either helps you get ahead or it may hold you back from getting ahead. But the good news here is that when I say it's attitudinal, it means that you can change it. So it's all about your attitude, your mindset. How do you see things, your perception? How do you view the world? And however that is, you have an opportunity. Once you become more aware of how you show up, you have that opportunity to change the way you think. So energy leadership, there are 2 basic principles. The first principle being everyone leads. You'll either lead by choice or by default. So it doesn't mean that you have to be in a prominent level of or have a position of leadership. You may be someone that has a position of leadership, but you could just be someone who doesn't have a title, but you are leading others. You're leading others in your family, your children, because you have influence. And so leadership is really about having influence. And anything in any situation where you may have influence, then you are a leader. You may be the leader at a position on your job. You may have other teammates who are there, and they kind of value your opinion. They value the way that you operate, the way that you do the job. So you're leading them even though you're not their boss and you don't have a level of leadership. Even at home, we're leading our children. As a mother, you are a leader of your children. As a father, you are a leader. You're a leader of a household. And so the things that you do make an impression upon other people, and therefore you are a leader or you are leading. So the second principle is the higher your overall energy level, the more successful and fulfilled you will be. So think about that. The higher your overall energy level, the more successful and fulfilled you'll be. Now, that's just to say that, as I mentioned, there are 7 levels of energy. So whether you are 1 or 2 or 3, you can always increase the level of energy that you have overall. And so as you increase that level of energy, say you go from a 3 to a 4, then that means you're going to be even more successful. And when you go from a 4 to a 5, then your success is even greater. Things open up. The world gets bigger, brighter. The options and opportunities become wide. You become aware and are able to see how broad and wide the options are for you. So studies show that whether it's measured in your finances, whether it's in your level of fulfillment or in your peace of mind or in your relationships, that people who have the highest levels of consciousness have the most energy, and they report the most success in their lives. So let's talk a little bit about the benefits. So the benefits of raising your overall consciousness and your energetic level is that, one, okay, you'll help inspire and motivate those around you. When people around you see that higher level of energy, see how positive you are, it just makes them want more and more of it. They want to engage with you. They want to be around you. They want to do better as well. Another item is you'll feel a greater sense of purpose. So now, once you start to move into the direction where you're starting to see your dreams come to life, you'll start to feel like you are living your purpose. So you'll have that greater sense of purpose. You're living for a reason. You're doing things that make a difference. You have an impact on the world. You have an impact on your family or in your job or in a new career or as an entrepreneur, whatever those things may be. You will actually resonate at a higher level of energy, which will help you get more done in less time and also attract success to you. And you're like, how is that possible, Laquita? Well, the key thing here is that because once you start to operate at a higher level of energy, you become more focused. You know exactly what you want. You are driven. And so it helps you to, in addition to operating, at that higher level of energy, you'll also be able to make the quick and accurate decisions because of that focus that you have. So there's another benefit. It'll also help you to reduce your stress levels. And so because as you raise your energy levels, you get away from some of the lower levels of energy that causes stress. You're not as angry. You're not depressed. Those things make us sick in our bodies, in our physical bodies, our mental bodies. And so as you increase that, you release those things that you're not always concerned about what everybody else is doing, what are they doing to you, how they're affecting your life. But you start to see the world as one and everyone as one, and it reduces your stress because you're not competing against people constantly to get ahead, you know? And so then also you'll increase your level of engagement. That means that you'll want to be a part of, you'll participate, you'll align yourself with the things that are important to you in participating in those activities that are good for you, that are focused and driven. Also, you'll have access to your personal genius, so that that personal level of thoughts and ideas that you and only you possess, you'll be clear about those things. You'll be concise and you'll want to move forward. You'll be encouraged and motivated and driven to do those things. And then at the very least, all other aspects of your life will improve as well. So whether it's your spirituality, whether it's in your relationships, because when you're at a different level, your relationships tend to be better because you're more positive, and people want to connect with someone who is positive, not only in your career and jobs. So, of course, though, as you become more driven in your job, you move up, you make more money, so now your finances are also impacted. So, you know, just everything about you becomes better and greater as you become more aware of who you are and how you operate. So now I'm going to talk to you a little bit about catabolic and anabolic energy. So the two forces that create your world every minute of every day is catabolic and anabolic energy, because at some point there's always some type of energy going on. At any given moment, you are either having catabolic energy or you're having anabolic energy, because energy always exists. So more than 100 years ago, Albert Einstein addressed the scientific community, passionately presenting the idea that everything we see, hear, taste, touch, and smell is not matter, but energy. Everything that matters is energy. So there's always energy around. So whether you can see it or not, it is there. So catabolic is negative, unhealthy thoughts, feelings, and responses. So at catabolic level, it's depressing and anger. Then there is anabolic energy, which is positive and healthy thoughts, feelings, and responses. So these people always see opportunities. They are willing to work with others and work together. They have great ideas, and it's a positive experience to be around someone who is anabolic. So energy attracts, though, like energy. So if you're anabolic, you're going to attract people who are anabolic to you. If you're catabolic, you're going to be a Cancer, and other people that are catabolic are going to flock to you, and then you just have a pity party. So think about that as you think about your level of energy. So now let's talk about what we call is the energetic self-perception. The energy leadership assessment is based on the 7 levels of energy as depicted in the energetic self-perception chart. This chart was developed in 1999 by Bruce D. Snyder, the founder of IPEC Coaching, which I mentioned earlier. And so the energetic self-perception chart is based on how you perceive yourself. So depending on how you perceive yourself, you exhibit or embody a certain level of energy. So based on how you see yourself, it's not about how someone else sees you, but this is solely based on your own perceptions and how you see yourself, and that is how you determine what level of energy you are. So let's jump in to start with level 1 energy. So level 1 energy is a catabolic energy, and it is all about self. It is egotistical. So that's why you see self and ego here. It's all about yourself. Me is what it's about. And at level 1 energy, it's more about I hate myself, I lose, woe is me. The person that displays this level of energy is really kind of depressed. They could be sad. or they may be depressed on the inside. So in some cases, you may not necessarily see that on the outside, but you can see it reflected in the way that they respond or they act towards situations. So they have a lot of doubt. So they may not necessarily look depressed. They may not necessarily look sad, but they are always doubtful. They have anxiety. They feel guilty for things. They worry a lot, and they always have a sense of hopelessness. So the core thought at a level 1 energy is of being a victim. So they are always at the effect of things. Things are always happening to them. You know, woe is me, something's always going to go wrong, and they expect that always. And the core feeling they have is apathy. So they become indifferent to things. They have a lack of enthusiasm or engagement because they don't believe anything good could ever happen for them. So they're not enthused about it. And so as a result, the resulting action is lethargy. So they have an inability to take action. They just don't do anything. They just sit back and don't move. You know, they may stay home, you know, if it's in their relationships, if you see this level of energy showing up and they just feel like, you know, nothing good happens for them, they may stay home. They may never try. They don't try to meet new people. It could be various ways. It just depends on the situation. So, and as I go through each of these levels of energy, it could be that this level of energy isn't always present in every situation, but there may be certain situations where you see different levels of energy show up in your life. And so you need to be aware and conscious of that. And then you're going to also find that you have an overall level of energy that you possess when things are going well for you. This is the level of energy where you operate most times. And then you'll find that there's a level of energy when things are not going so well that you operate. When things go wrong, then you default and you run to this level of energy. So think about those things as I move through the remaining levels of the energetic perception chart here. So let's go to level 2 energy. Level 2 energy, again, is a catabolic energy. It's about self, again, and ego. The difference here is instead of like at level 1 that you hate yourself, it's about hating other people. It's like I hate you, you know, that you want to win and you want the other person to lose. That's very clear that no matter what, you're going to win and then they're going to lose. So at this level, you may find people have a lot of disappointment. They're frustrated. They have judgment against others, and they're stressed. So the core thought is about conflict. So it's struggle, judgment, having a black and white, right or wrong thinking. And so in conflict, you know, doesn't necessarily mean that you're out in a battle or you're out fighting with everyone or that you're out arguing with everyone. Definitely, though, if you see someone who is combative in that way, then you can clearly see that level 2 energy, but not always, because sometimes people are at conflict within themselves. So it's those things, again, I tell you, it starts with the way that you think. So it doesn't mean that you did anything. It just means your thought, your initial thought is a conflict. And it can be internal, and you can have that conflict and have those struggles about what's going on, whether you verbalize it or communicate it to anyone else or not. So that's, I just want you to be aware of that. And then the core feeling is anger. So these people are angry. They get annoyed. They have resentment. They have displeasure in other people. As a result, they can be hostile and irritable. And so the core result or action is of defiance. So they are very defiant. They're going to rebel. They're not going to do anything that group or that person wants them to do. If they feel like they hate you, they're going to go against anything that you have. They're going to be disobedient and have contempt for you. So just so you're aware. So level 3 energy. Okay, so now we have moved into what we call self-mastery. So self-mastery is about being the master of your own domain, of your own self, being in control of yourself. And here at level 3 is where you start to show control. Prior to this, when you're in levels 1 and 2, you really are not in control of yourself. You're kind of reacting and responding based on other people, and it's about your ego, and but not being in control where you're clearly making a decision, a concerted choice, concerted effort to make things better. So level 3 is the first of the anabolic energy range. And here you say, I forgive you because you don't know any better. So be clear, at level 3, although it's better than being at levels 1 and level 2, it's kind of conditional here. So you're forgiving because in your mind you have rationalized that they just don't know any better. So I just need to move on. I'm going to move forward. That's what you say. That's the thoughts that you have in your head. So it says, I win. If you win too, it's okay. So you're not going to be as direct in like level 2 where you were going to win and the other person was going to lose. But here, you're okay if they win. You're not going to go out of your way to help them win. But if they happen to win in the process, it's all right with you. So here, you're going to be, I'm responsible for my own thoughts and my own feelings. So the core thought at a level 3 is of responsibility. So you're owning your own feelings. You're choosing to be accountable for your own experiences and your choices. And then the core feeling is of forgiveness. You're going to forgive these people. You're going to forgive others. You're going to be willing to forgive and pardon them, let go of any resentment you may have or anger you will have, or you may excuse their faults and their mistakes because, again, you think, oh, they don't know any better. They really didn't know that this was happening this way. And so you're willing to forgive. And then the core response is of cooperation. So you're working toward a shared common goal or benefit. So you figure we're going to work together and you're willing to cooperate so that you can reach and achieve a certain goal. So level 4 energy. So it's also self-mastery. It's a little bit higher up, though, than being at a level 3. And so at level 4, you're all about you win. It's not about winning yourself, but your focus is on the other person, the other group, or whomever it is, that they win, that you don't take things personally. You actually feel sorry for others, that they are the way that they are. So you have a lot of love, and you try to help people in any way that you can. So you're loving, you're nurturing of self and others, you're caring, and you're giving. So the core thought is of concern. You're concerned about others, you care about them, their interests, you feel connected to them, and then you also have concern for yourself. So that the key core thought is concern. And then your core feeling is of compassion. So you feel sympathy and concern for the suffering or misfortune of others. You have empathy for them. You are sensitive to their causes, to what their issues and concerns are. You're warm towards them. You're tender. You have kindness. You have self-compassion. And then the ultimate or the core result of that is service. So you are helpful and you assist them. So that is the key to level 4 service and of being helpful, that they win, and it's not personal. Level 5. So level 5 is the top of self-mastery. So this is the top of mastering yourself. And here you say we both win. It's about both of us win. It's a win-win situation. I'm going to win. You're going to win. You understand them. You don't care about what's right. You see opportunities. Here you always see the opportunity in the situation. Here the core thought is of reconciliation. So you want to come together in agreement, have a good understanding of where they're coming from, and hopefully help them to see where you're coming from. But at the end of the day, you want to come together in agreement. So whether it's good and bad, right or wrong, you don't have any judgment against them. The core feeling is of peace. You're calm, you're tranquil, you're content, at this space. When you're operating at a level 5 energy, not a lot can come in and shake you up and rattle you. You kind of keep that level of peace and calmness through all things, because at the end of the day, you are looking for a way to come together in agreement. So therefore, there's not a lot of conflict. And then the core result or action is of acceptance. So you are accepting of others, you are believing in them, you have a willingness to receive, you accept differences instead of identifying and focusing on how to change them. So you're not trying to change them. You just say, okay, this is who they are. How can we find a common ground? That is level 5 energy. Level 6 energy. Now, we have moved into a new era of transcendence and no ego. At this level of level 6, everyone always wins. So I am you. I feel a sense of permanent joy. So we have intuition, you're inspirational. And so here at this level, when you say, I am you, meaning that we're all here together. We're all here to serve a certain purpose. And so rather than focusing on who's winning or not winning or anything like that, it's all about that we all have a job and we have a role here that we're serving, and we just need to all work together to make these things happen. So the core thought is of synthesis. So the blending away of the illusion of individuality. So you're no longer an individual, but you are making up a whole of a part. So combining separate elements or substances to form a coherent whole, coming together, combination, composite. We are all one. Synergy. That is the core thought here. Synergy. We are one. And the core feeling is of joy, a permanent sense of pleasure, happiness, and delight. So at level 6, you're excited, you're happy. You're not worried about things. It's even transcended just being in a state of peace, but of pure joy. And so the core result is of wisdom. So then you show insight, you have intuition and enlightenment at this level. So just becoming wise as you've understood others, and now you are at a place where you see how we all come together and there's no individual, so we're all working together. So it makes you just so much wiser because you've opened up your viewpoint. So as you go up and you climb these levels of energy, you kind of open up your viewpoint. It's almost, so when we started out at level 1, it was like you had blinders on. You really couldn't see anything. But as you move up, your blinders start to expand and they move out until now you've gotten to level 6 and they're almost gone. And so you can just see so many more things, so much more, so many more opportunities. So level 7 is the top of the energy levels, of course. And again, it's transcendence, it's no ego. And at this level, it's about I am. I'm just being. I'm just here. Winning and losing are illusions. They just feel that there's no such thing as someone who wins or loses. It is not possible because there's no such thing. And that they feel like they create their life every second. So these people are always thinking of new things, new ideas, thought-provoking. They could be a little bit out of touch with reality, when you kind of look at it, because they don't see things as winning and losing. And so some people find that they're out of touch with what's happening in the real world. They operate in truth with unconditional love, and they're a pioneer. Here, the core thought is of non-judgment, pure objectivity. They have a lack of fear without any judgment. They're not afraid to try anything. They're going to go for it. fearless. Um, the core feeling is of absolute passion. They have total bliss, energy, it's intense desire or enthusiasm for any and all experiences. They just want to experience it all. They'll do anything. They're excited about it. Um, just totally over the top in some cases could be. But the core result is of creation. So bringing something new into existence, spontaneous manifestation of ideas, thoughts, and genius thinking. So here they become where they can create the most magnificent things. They're very innovative. They create the new softwares. They come up with solutions in science and all kinds of stuff that that we've experienced that someone created. And that is due to being at a level 7 where they're not afraid to try. They're not afraid of failure because to them there's no such thing as failing. There's only, there's no winning, there's no losing. So what do they have to lose? They just do it. Oh, okay? So level 7. So now that we have covered all 7 levels of the energy, let's just talk a little bit about the Energy Leadership Index. So the Energy Leadership Index, also known as the ELI for short, is a one-of-a-kind assessment that enables individuals and leaders like yourself to hold up mirrors to their perceptions, attitudes, behaviors, and overall leadership capabilities. So here it's like you're taking a look at yourself. There's that song, Michael Jackson song, The Man in the Mirror. So take a look at yourself first and see what it is that you are. And so that is what the ELI does for us. It allows us to see, okay, who am I? And so the ELI forms the initial launching point for the Energy Leadership Development System. So helping give you a baseline for your current performance and situation. So whether you proceed through the full system or not, the realizations that you'll gain from the Energy Leadership Assessment and the debrief process alone will change the way you view your world. Because once you've taken this Energy Leadership Assessment, you'll get a view of how you operate when things are going well. So what level of energy are you resonating at most? And what level of energy do you resonate at when things are not going so well? And then in addition to that, you'll also get an understanding of how much of each level of energy do you possess. So how much level 3 energy do you have, or are you showing, displaying? And so once you've done the assessment, you have that opportunity to go through this Energy Leadership Development System that will take you through step by step, helping you deal with any inner thoughts and feelings that you have that may be holding you back if you so choose to. So I want to stress that it's up to you to decide whether or not you want to change one of these levels of energy for whatever reason. It may not necessarily be overall, but you may find that you know that in certain situations you do behave in a certain way, or you have a certain type of attitude towards a certain type of situation that you would like to improve. And we can focus in and work on that particular area, helping you to move through, helping you in your career, whether it's time management, having to work on those. If you're looking for having a higher level of emotional intelligence, working through those things. If you're trying to just figure out what is it that ideally I want, so you will be able to create your own ideal image of that person and what you want out of life. It's so many things that could happen. The possibilities are great. So there are 2 main types of assessments. So I'm just going to explain to you so you have a little bit more understanding of the difference in why you should choose energy leadership. There are personality and attitudinal assessments. So a personality-based assessment, such as the Myers-Briggs or DISC, they're very valuable tools, but they are geared towards personality types. So it kind of pinpoints you in what your personality is like. And so we are born with a certain type of personality, or we by default have certain strengths and weaknesses. That's just a part of our DNA. And so, and that's about your personality. The difference here is that the ELI is an attitudinal assessment. So it's about, how do you think and feel? What's your attitude towards things? And it's something that you have full control over. It is subjective. It can be changed. And so that's why we focus on this area, because there's no need in trying to change your personality. We're not going to change your personality. But what we can change is how you perceive the world, how you think about the things that you see in the world, the people, the situations that you see in the world, and how you respond to those is what we can change. So there are no limits as to the potential growth that you can achieve. So once you realize that your level of consciousness is directly related to your actions, you can move from functioning effectively to functioning optimally. So, as a part of the Energy Leadership Index assessment and debrief process, you'll learn about the 7 levels of leadership and how much energy you specifically that you currently have in the catabolic range and in the anabolic range. So once you go through the assessment, like I've given you an overview today of each of the levels, but what you'll get out of the assessment and debrief will be specifically geared towards you. How is it that that energy is showing up in you? How much of that energy do you possess? Where do you align on those 7 levels of energy? So you'll be debriefed on the findings of the assessment and then coached on how to navigate yourself to a higher performance. So if you proceed on to the Energy Leadership Development System, you'll be coached on how to become your ideal image of who you need to be as a person for your situation. So it's not about trying to make you be like someone else, but solely about you. It's solely about what you want and helping you to understand why do you want those things? Why is it important to you? And then helping you to draft and craft a plan that is going to get you to where you want to be. Okay, so now that we've gone through all of the things about the energy leadership, now you have the opportunity to get your own personal energy leadership assessment and debrief. So you will learn and understand what your current attitude or perception of the world is, and then decide if you like it the way that it is or if you want to change it. If you desire and you're interested in moving forward with me, you're just as excited as I am, and you're eager to find out where you line up on the energy leadership chart, you can email me. I am Laquita Joseph, and my email is ljoseph@copperpennycoaching.com. And just say that you heard about the Energy Leadership Assessment via this webinar, and then you can get your own Energy Leadership Index Assessment and debrief for $99. So this will include for you the Energy Leadership Index Assessment. So you'll go through that assessment. It may take you maybe, 20 minutes, maybe at most, to go through. And then you'll get a 1.5-hour debrief by me. And so what happens is, after you've done the assessment, I will get a copy of the assessment. You will get a copy of the assessment. I will review your assessment and pull together for you the 1.5-hour debrief. And this can be done over the phone. We coordinate together and set up a time that works for both of us, and we will go through this whole process. and you will have an opportunity to ask questions about your level of energy, how these things are displayed. And as we go through, maybe there are ways and categories or areas where you feel like I could really use the help of a life coach to help me work through this area, because I'm serious about what I want to achieve, and I'm no longer willing to sit back and just wait for it to happen to me. I'm going to make the first step. I'm in control of who I am. So again, if you're interested, you can email me at ljoseph@copperpennycoaching.com. Thank you so much for joining me today. Have a wonderful day.